Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm back making another video, and in today's video, I'm bringing you guys the ultimate guide to grow a garden. I did one of these videos a few weeks ago, and you guys really liked it, but there's quite a bit more stuff in the game, and I know quite a bit more now. There's a couple small things I left out in the last video. So to break this video down, I'm going to go through the beginner tips, the mid-tier player tips, the end game tips, and then the super end game tips. I'm also going to pretty much teach how every major aspect of the game works. So if you're confused about something, even if you're a farther along player, I would still watch the whole thing through. So before we even get into the beginner tips, a lot of people want to know how the game works before they even try to get into it. So basically how the game works, you press your garden, you go to your garden, you press seeds, and you go over to the seed shop. The very first thing you're going to want to do at the start of the game is buy a couple of carrot seeds, sell them, pretty much repeat the process until you have enough for some strawberries, some blueberries, and you're going to work your way up to better and better seeds until eventually you save up 50,000 and you can get your first egg, or 150,000 you can get your first uncommon egg. Over here at the gear shop, this is where you get some daily quests. If you harvest all these different things or plant these different things, you get a seed pack. And these seed packs can give you the higher rarity seeds in the seed store that aren't always there. And then over here at the gear stand, you can also look at the gear shop. This is where you get watering cans to speed up growth, sprinklers, really good sprinklers, and a few other things. We'll talk about this stuff down here later on, because we're still at the beginning of the game tips. Okay, so now we need to talk about mutations. After you make your first few $1,000s and you start getting slightly better plants, this is where mutations really come in handy. So if we go over to the wiki, I'm going to explain to you guys how mutations work. So the gold and the rainbow mutation are the best ones because this is the equation right down here that the game uses to determine the sell price of something. So the total price equals the fruit constant. So if we go look at the value of any fruit, such as the carrot, the minimum value is going to be 18 when you sell a carrot. Even if it's a super tiny carrot with no mutations, it cannot be worth less than 18. So that's the fruit constant. And then it multiplies the mass. So if you have a really big fruit and you got lucky, that'll make it worth way more, times the growth mutation. And like I said, gold and rainbow are the growth mutations. All these other mutations are environmental mutations. So it multiplies the minimum sell value times how much bigger the mass is, times the growth mutation, times all of these other mutations added together. So there's some other mutations that are limited ones, such as pollinated, burnt, chocolate, honey glazed, cooked, zombified, disco. You get this stuff from disco bees, the chicken zombie pet, the cooked owl, the bear bee, or a honey sprinkler. Pollinated you can get from all types of different bee pets or a pollinated spray. So if the point is, if you do not have gold or rainbow as one of your mutations, the fruit just is not going to be worth much. So if you just set aside the minimum sell value and the size, it's pretty much rainbow or gold multiplied by all of the other mutations added together. So even if you have like 10 mutations on a fruit, if it doesn't have gold or rainbow, it's going to be worth 20 to 50 times less than it could be just by having that one mutation, gold or rainbow. Now, I bet you're wondering how to get a bunch of these really good pets, such as the disco bee that turns things disco mutation, that's worth like 120 times multiplier, the dragonfly, which turns things into gold, and the butterfly that turns things into rainbow. Now, some of these are unobtainable, which means they're limited. You can only get them if you trade for them. So now that we're getting into the mid-game tips, you guys need to know about trading. So now that you know how mutations works, and you're constantly going to the seed shop trying to find better and better seeds when they pop up, now you need to start macroing the seed shop once you have enough money to get some of these higher tier seeds. And if you don't know what that means just setting up a macro with Tiny Task or whatever application you want that'll just automatically click through all of these, scroll back to the bottom, and repeat. So as soon as one pops up in the store, you'll buy it. So if you have enough money to do that at a certain point, you should. And you can easily get multiple of the best seeds super easily. Another mid-game tip is macroing the gear shop. So a lot of people wonder how I have so many sprinklers. It's because I macroed the gear shop. I literally only did it one night, and I have plenty of sprinklers for a while. Another good way to get free sprinklers is actually with the mole pet, which is unobtainable, it's limited, but it's not worth a crazy amount. You can actually just go and trade for these. Every 80 seconds, it digs underground to find treasure. It can dig up a gear or shekels. So one of the gears that it can get is the very best sprinkler, the godly sprinkler. Or the master sprinkler. I always get them mixed up. It seems like the godly one should be better. But yeah, like I said, there's tons of really good pets, such as the red fox. It attempts to steal, duplicate a seed from another player's plot. So if you're sitting in a server with somebody that has like a ton of sugar apples or beanstalks and you don't have any of those seeds yet, you can use some red foxes and literally just go take the seeds from them and they don't lose anything. And obviously, well, this isn't obvious to everyone, but obviously to people that already know a decent amount about the game, the raccoon's the even better version, because this will go and steal and duplicate a random crop, including limited ones, because the red fox only steals permanent seeds. The raccoon can steal literally any fruit, and it duplicates it, so it doesn't even really steal it. It just duplicates it from someone else's plot. So this is one of the best things in the game. It's limited, it's super overpowered, and I'll discuss some strategies with it later in the more end-game tips. But talking about trading, that is like one of the top tier pets in the game, the most valuable. So if you have ever played any trading games, it's a very similar economy in this game. The best pets, the ones with the best abilities, especially the ones that are limited with the best abilities like Raccoon, are worth the most. So let's get a little bit more into the later game tips and tricks. Now that you guys know how to get pretty much all the seeds, the best pets, how to trade, well, I can't fully explain like how to be a really good trader when I'm trying to talk about so many other things in this video, but everyone has to work on that on their own. Okay, so now that you guys know how to get all the seeds, or at least all the permanent ones, how to get the cosmetics, how to macro it, and get tons and tons of gear and seeds overnight, now that you guys know what a lot of the best pets do and how the mutations actually work, there's still quite a bit more that we need to go over. So, not too long ago, they added in crafting. And I just want to talk about some of the best things in here to get. So this shocked mutation spray is pretty good if you have a ton of stuff in your garden and you need one specific thing to have shocked on it. One specific thing that probably already has tons of other mutations, so if you got shocked on it, it would be worth a crazy amount. But it's not really always worth it to spend that much on the spray when you could just have less things in your garden. So I actually need to take this advice myself. I do to an extent, because I've deleted so many things out of my garden. I deleted all my beanstalks except one, because I like just having one. I deleted tons of limited plants like blood bananas and everything because they just didn't sell for that much. And if I'm trying to get a garden with tons of different things with a ton of good mutations, which is what I'm doing with all of these different pets, trying to get everything zombified, rainbow, disco, pollinated, cooked, the answer actually is less is more. So if we go back over to the wiki and we go over to crops, we can go through all of the regular stuff. So like beanstalk, minimum sell value is 25,000, ember lily is 50,000, sugar apple is 43,000, and then there's stuff like pink lily, purple dahlia that are worth even more than sugar apple, and then there's stuff like sunflower that's worth a crazy amount, 144,000. So honestly, stuff like sunflower, if you're really trying to just get rich in this game, I can teach you guys how. So the trick is to actually just have like one plant in your garden. And like I said with trading earlier, you're going to need to trade up and try to get better and better pets. So if you guys want even better trading advice, once you get to the point where you have something really good, you can pretty much just trade and trade and trade until you get one raccoon, and then you can start the raccoon method and have unlimited money. So once you have one raccoon, that's like a breakthrough point. You can instantly start making money so much quicker. Like not having a raccoon is a huge roadblock that everyone has to get past if they're just trying to make as much money as possible and get like a full team of raccoons and all the best pets and whatever they want. If your goal is to just get rich, try to get one raccoon with trading. You can trade up for smaller good pets, such as red foxes. If you get really lucky and you get a bug egg in the shop and you hatch the dragonfly, the one that turns plants into golden, with that and a little bit of ads, you can sometimes get a raccoon. But once you get the raccoon, and once you have one really good plant like sunflower or candy blossom, that's another good example, but sunflower's worth even more, then you just need to try to get as many mutations as possible on that one sunflower or that one candy blossom or on that one dragon pepper or one honeysuckle or one nectar thorn, just whatever you can get that is the absolute most value. And then you get an alt account, you get a VIP server, which is completely free, and you don't let anybody in the server because you want to get as many mutations as you possibly can on this one really good plant. So you need either gold or rainbow on it, and then obviously tons of other mutations. But my point is, it's way easier to get all those mutations on one plant when you just have one plant. All the plants in my garden are some of the best plants in the game, but still, I feel like I have a little bit too many because all my mutations are so spread out. So I can't even get a raccoon on an alt account and just dupe a super crazy mutated thing over and over. But once you do that, once you have one single raccoon and you can start duping tons of really good things, now we're getting into the super end game, then you're going to want to keep trading those fruits or those plants that you duplicated with the raccoon and getting other pretty good pets. Be like, hey, can I trade this for your red fox? Try to get a bunch of red foxes or something that's more of a mid-tier pet. And then you could trade those up until eventually you get more raccoons. So now you have like an unlimited money supply to keep trading plants for more pets, and then you can use those pets to trade up for better pets. So it's pretty much the same thing you were doing before without a raccoon, but now you just have unlimited super valuable, super mutated plants. So you just have an unlimited supply to give to people to keep getting more pets. And you do this repeatedly until you have a full team of raccoons on your alt account. And then you can literally just dupe thousands and thousands of the best crazy mutated plant. Like I have a clip of my friend that does this with a sunflower, and the sunflower that he duplicates with all his raccoons on his alt is worth over 2 trillion. And if you don't believe me, the footage is up on the screen. So this guy's literally a quadrillionaire off of one raccoon because he turned that raccoon into multiple raccoons by using the raccoon to get all those crazy mutated plants and then selling them for smaller pets and then trading up. And then once you have a full team of raccoons, that should be everyone's goal first before trying to get tons of other pets. The reason raccoons are so good is they can literally get you every other pet in the game. Honestly, I think raccoons should be kind of nerfed a little bit. Even though they're limited, there's not a ton out there. It's just so crazy how they work. So once you keep using this raccoon method and you have thousands of mutated plants and a full team of raccoons, then you can just keep trading for whatever you want. You can get some disco bees on your team, you can get some queen bees, you can get some butterflies, you can get all of the most valuable pets in the game. So yeah, just for a quick recap, because I know it's a little bit of a long video, to summarize the entire game up and how to play it in just a minute or two to finish this out. You get some seeds, you plant them, you keep getting better ones and better ones until you have enough money for pets and gear, and then you start stacking mutations on your best plants. You get rid of your bad ones. You want to always be deleting your bad plants when you have something 2 or 3 times better. And like I said, if you guys have any more specific questions, I can't go over the exact value of every plant, every pet, every single thing that every pet does, but just check the wiki if you guys have any super specific questions about, like, what does the snail pet do? Like, you just gotta look at the wiki. But yeah, now that you guys know how mutations work, just get better and better plants, try to stack tons of mutations, eventually get some decent pets, get some decent fruits, start getting a little bit rich, start trading up, until eventually you get to the point where you have one raccoon. Once you have one raccoon, the game totally changes, and your progress is going to just be exponential. It's just going to keep going up faster and faster. Because once you get that second raccoon, it's way easier to get that third one. Once you get that fifth raccoon, it's way easier to get that sixth one than it was to get that third one. It just gets easier and easier once you get a full team of raccoons and you get a crazy mutated plant like one of my friends has. And that's the only reason I'm not doing this method myself, is because I got way more money than I need, and I like just having a cool garden to hang out in. I like just having a little bit of all the best stuff. I got some sugar apples, some purple dahlias, some dragon peppers, moon melons, moon mangoes, some honeysuckle and hive fruits and cocoa vines. Pretty much all I need is like a sunflower and a nectar thorn, and I'm working on getting a nectar thorn right now. But yeah, if your goal isn't just to get super rich and have like hundreds of trillions of dollars and a full inventory of the best, most rare pets, if that's not your goal in the game, kind of like how it's not mine, then just collect a lot of the rarest stuff, trade with people, have fun. You can still gain value by just trading and not doing the raccoon method and stuff yourself constantly. It's not needed. So if you feel discouraged and you don't have a raccoon yet, just play the game. The goal of this game isn't even to get rich. It's honestly to just grow a garden however you want, decorate it however you want, build an obby up in the sky, trade pets and trade plants with your friends, and just play the game and have fun. There's no like end game goal like in Minecraft or something where you defeat the Ender Dragon, but even that's not a good example because everybody defeats the Ender Dragon and then goes right back to building their base and just having fun. It's more of a sandbox game, kind of like Minecraft, I guess. So the people that don't really understand why this game is like the most popular game of all time, that's why. It just appeals to everyone, it's fun, and there doesn't have to be like one end goal. Like there's no final plant that you get or final achievement that you get for making $1 trillion. It's just a fun, simple game, and you don't have to take it seriously, but a lot of people do like to take it seriously and want to get really rich, and there's nothing wrong with that. So hopefully this video was able to help those players out. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button, comment some ideas for more future videos down below, and subscribe if you have not already. I'll see you all in the next one very soon. Peace out, everybody.